Good evening. Tonight we invite you to a place that, at first glance, seems almost impossible, a mere dot in the vast blue of Lake Victoria. Our journey takes us to MIGINGO, a minuscule island perched in Africa's largest lake, where the water stretches endlessly and the horizon blurs into sky. From a distance, MIGINGO is just a speck of rock, its surface glinting with the reflections of hundreds of metal roofs. But as you draw closer, the island pulses with life. Narrow alleys, bustling markets, and the constant movement of people. MIGINGO is the most densely populated island in the world, hundreds of people squeezed onto a patch of land smaller than a football field, every corner filled with stories. Here, every inch is contested, every resource precious. The struggle for space shapes daily life, and the rhythm of survival is set by the lake's bounty. Two nations, Kenya and Uganda, both lay claim to this rocky outcrop, not for the land itself, but for the rich fishing waters that surround it, teeming with life and opportunity. The Nile perch, often called silver gold, is the lifeblood of MIGINGO. It fuels the local economy, sparks disputes, and sustains families who depend on the lake's harvest. On MIGINGO, space is a luxury, and peace is a daily negotiation. Every day brings new challenges, and every handshake or argument can shape the future of the island. The island's story is one of resilience, shifting borders, and the human spirit under pressure. Here, people adapt, endure, and find ways to thrive despite the odds. We'll meet the people who call this place home, hear their struggles and triumphs, and witness the bonds that hold this community together. We'll see how they've built a community in the most unlikely of places, forging connections and traditions amid the chaos. MIGINGO is more than just a disputed rock. It's a symbol, a microcosm of global challenges over resources, territory, and coexistence. It's a place where survival means adapting, cooperating, and sometimes clashing. The stakes are high, and the lessons are universal. Tonight, we look beyond the statistics to the heart of MIGINGO, where hope and hardship live side by side. What can this tiny island teach us about community, conflict, and the power of human connection? Let's step onto the rock and find out. This is MIGINGO Island, a world in miniature, with stories waiting to be told. MIGINGO is shockingly small, just 2,000 square meters, about half the size of a football field. From above, it looks like a mere speck in the vast blue of Lake Victoria, almost lost in the endless water. It's a rocky outcrop, packed edge to edge with shacks of corrugated iron and wood. Every available inch is claimed, with homes pressed so tightly together that walls seem to merge. There are no parks, no gardens, and no open space, just a dense maze of homes and narrow winding alleys. The only greenery is the occasional potted plant perched on a windowsill. At its peak, over 500 people squeeze onto this tiny rock, making it one of the most crowded places on Earth. Every day the population ebbs and flows with the fishing season, but the sense of crowding never fades. Privacy is non-existent, life is lived shoulder to shoulder. Neighbors are never more than a few steps away, and every sound carries through the thin walls. Strikingly, two larger, empty islands, Usingo and Pyramid, sit just a stone's throw away. Yet, everyone crowds onto MIGINGO, leaving the neighboring islands eerily quiet. Why? The deep waters here are prime territory for Nile perch, the island's economic lifeblood. The promise of a good catch draws people from all around Lake Victoria. The density creates a unique social fabric. Cooperation is essential, but so is tolerance. People must share, compromise, and adapt to each other's rhythms. Disagreements can escalate quickly in such close quarters, where tempers flare and there's nowhere to retreat. Every day, residents balance community spirit with the need for personal space, carving out moments of solitude wherever they can. The island's location is its greatest asset and its greatest challenge. It offers opportunity, but also isolation and hardship. Here, survival depends on adapting to the press of humanity. Resourcefulness is a daily necessity, and every resident finds creative ways to make the most of what little space they have. MIGINGO is a living experiment in extreme community, where every day is a lesson in resilience and coexistence. Life here is a constant negotiation, a delicate balance between survival, cooperation, and the unyielding press of humanity. Before dawn, MIGINGO comes alive with fishermen prepping boats and mending nets, their hands moving quickly in the dim light. The air is cool and filled with anticipation as the first hints of sunrise touch the water. Every morning this ritual marks the start of another day on the island. Fishing is the heartbeat of the island. Everything revolves around the day's catch. The promise of Nile perch draws men to the water, and the hope of a good haul shapes every conversation and plan. Men head out onto the lake, chasing Nile perch, their boats cutting through the morning mist. The lake is both a livelihood and a challenge, demanding skill and courage from those who venture out. While they're gone, the island transforms into a bustling market. Stalls spring up along every path, and the air fills with the sounds of bargaining and laughter. Women buy, clean, and cook the fish, selling meals and supplies from makeshift stalls. Their work is essential, feeding families and fueling the island's economy. Every space is used. Homes double as shops, alleys as playgrounds and meeting spots. The island's tiny footprint means nothing goes to waste, and every corner has a purpose. Children play in the narrow gaps between shacks, their laughter mingling with the sounds of commerce and daily chores. Here, play and work exist side by side. Space is precious. Families share single rooms, belongings tucked into every corner. Privacy is rare, but community is strong, and neighbors look out for one another. Laundry hangs from rooftops, and every nook is put to use. Even the smallest ledge or rooftop becomes a place to dry clothes or store supplies. As the sun sets, boats return, and the island erupts in activity. Fish are weighed, sold, and bargained over. The shoreline becomes a stage for the evening's commerce. Money changes hands fast. The air buzzes with deals and the energy of a community that depends on every transaction. After work, bars and video halls open, offering a brief escape. Here, people gather to unwind, share stories, and catch up on news from the mainland. Life is public, communal, and always in motion. The island's energy never truly fades, even as night falls. The rhythm of MIGINGO is set by the lake and the fish. Every routine, every tradition is shaped by the water that surrounds them. Every day is a cycle of work, trade, and survival. The people of MIGINGO adapt, hustle, and persevere, bound together by the challenges and rewards of island life. On MIGINGO, the lake is life, its tides and bounty shaping every moment, every hope, and every dream. Crowding brings big problems. Sanitation is dire. Few toilets, poor waste management, and disease risk is high. Clean water must be bought and brought in by boat, adding to daily costs. Healthcare is minimal. Serious illness means a risky, expensive trip to the mainland. Power is unreliable. Makeshift wiring and frequent blackouts threaten homes and businesses. Buildings are packed tight. A fire could devastate the entire island in minutes. Social tensions simmer. Arguments over space, noise, and business are common. Security forces from both Kenya and Uganda patrol, sometimes adding to the strain. Residents must navigate personal and political tensions daily. Life here is a constant test of endurance and adaptability. On MIGINGO, every challenge is magnified. MIGINGO sits at the heart of a bitter border dispute between Kenya and Uganda. Colonial-era maps left the boundary in Lake Victoria unclear, fueling decades of tension. Most residents are Kenyan, but Uganda claims the island by geography and enforces its claim with police and military. Both nations collect taxes and fishing fees, often from the same people. The real prize isn't the rock, it's the fish-rich waters worth millions. Fishermen are caught in the middle, their livelihoods at stake. The dispute is about more than pride. It's about survival and economic power. On MIGINGO, politics is personal. The islanders live with uncertainty every day. Meet Isaac, a fisherman who arrived with nothing but a net and hope. He slept on bare rock before building a shack, but now supports his family and sends his kids to school. For Isaac, MIGINGO is tough but full of opportunity. Sarah runs a food stall, starting with simple meals and growing her business through grit and community support. When someone falls ill, neighbors pool money for transport to the mainland. This spirit of Harambee, pulling together, is vital. But not all stories are hopeful. Joseph, a young fisherman, feels trapped by constant pressure from authorities and declining fish stocks. He worries about the future, caught between politics and survival. Despite hardship, residents have built their own systems. Elders mediate disputes. Savings groups offer support. They've created a society from scratch on bare rock. MIGINGO's people show resilience, adaptation, and hope in the face of adversity. Their stories are the soul of the island. Everything on MIGINGO revolves around the Nile perch, silver gold. A single big catch can feed a family for weeks. The fishing economy is a web. Boat owners, traders, processors, and transporters all depend on the lake. Competition is fierce. Fishermen vie for the best spots, and illegal nets threaten the future of the fish. Kenyan and Ugandan officials both demand taxes and fees, squeezing profits. The fish bring prosperity, but also conflict and uncertainty. Overfishing is taking its toll. Catches are shrinking, and the future is uncertain. If the fish disappear, so does MIGINGO's reason to exist. The island's fate is tied to the health of the lake. Every day, residents gamble on the water. The stakes couldn't be higher. On MIGINGO, fortune and survival are one and the same. The lake giveth and can take away. Despite the border dispute, MIGINGO's residents often work together across national lines. Kenyans and Ugandans share cramped spaces, form business partnerships, and depend on each other. When crisis strikes, fire, illness, the community unites regardless of nationality. Elders from both sides mediate disputes, keeping the peace. This fragile cooperation is a practical necessity. But political tensions can quickly disrupt daily life. Armed police from both countries are a constant reminder of the conflict. Residents must navigate two governments, two sets of rules, yet they've forged a shared identity as islanders. MIGINGO is proof that people can find common ground, even in the shadow of conflict. Here, community is survival. MIGINGO's story is one of hardship, conflict, and remarkable resilience. Residents have built a society from nothing, turning a barren rock into a home. The island is a lesson in adaptation, cooperation, and the human will to survive. MIGINGO also warns of the dangers of disputed borders and scarce resources. The fishermen pay taxes to two governments, caught in a tug-of-war over fish. Yet daily acts of cooperation shine through the conflict. The world could learn from MIGINGO's practical diplomacy. The island is a mirror, reflecting humanity's challenges and strengths. Its future is uncertain, tied to the lake and the choices of distant politicians. But the spirit of its people endures. Even on the smallest, most crowded patch of earth, community can flourish. MIGINGO is a shocking reality and a beacon of hope. Its lessons are for us all.